Bearcats All Access, sponsored by Ultifiber.
Fresh off of the heavyweight bout between Nebraska and Cincinnati, the Bearcats, they prepare for Bowling Green after a toe-to-toe battle with the Cornhuskers. This is Bearcats All Access. I'm your host, Marshall Kramsky. We got a great show for you this week. We have on our player profile one of the most electrifying running backs in the country. Evan Pryor joins the show for our player profile. The University of Cincinnati Athletics Department shares some great features that will definitely give you a better look at the UC program. But it all starts with head coach Scott Satterfield. Coach's Corner, sponsored by Ultifiber. Bearcats All Access starts right now. Tough game against Nebraska. Now that you've had time, look at the tape a little bit. What were your biggest takeaways that you guys can improve on?
Yeah, I mean, obviously got a lot of things we can improve on after game one, but really proud of the way the guys played. They played extremely hard. They felt like they were, poised and in the game and in a tough environment. It was basically all Nebraska fans in there. But I thought our guys played extremely hard. Now, what we got to get better at, we got to take care of the football. I think that's the number one thing. We all knew that going into the game. Big momentum right before the half, put our defense in a bad position. And then obviously at the end of the game, a chance to go win it, and we turn it over. So taking care of the ball and then creating turnovers. We had our opportunity. They had the ball on the ground a couple of times, and we did not get it. Logan Wilson's got a chance at a pick six and did not come through with that. So, there's going to be presented with opportunities throughout games. We're going to have to make the most of those. And, we need to win that turnover battle in order to give ourselves a great chance to win. And I think also we just got to get better at, throwing the football. That was a negative offensively.
What kind of statement do you think you guys made to the rest of college football that might have been counting you out in the game against Nebraska? You guys were toe-to-toe till the very end.
Yeah. I mean, this is a different team than what we've had in the last couple of years. I think this team is hungry to prove that they belong at the Power 4 level. They're hungry to prove that they can compete in the Big 12. Now, obviously, we got to go prove it. You got to show it. You got to win these games. I think for us, it's just more motivation to go out and prove it each and every week. And, for this week, it's Bowling Green. I mean, we got another opportunity. Home game here at Nippert to go out and prove that that we have a really good team this year.
How has Sorsby been dealing with him this week leading into Bowling Green?
I mean, he's obviously frustrated the fact that we didn't get it done. He was very confident. Really, our whole sideline was confident we were going to take that last drive and go score, even though we didn't have any timeouts. Had to go, 90-some-odd yards to score. I think for him, it's just coming back in and getting to work. I thought Sunday's practice was good for him to get back out, and guys were running around. He's very intentional about his approach. I thought he had a great offseason. On a positive note, he ran the ball better than he did last year. He ran at a high level last year. I thought he ran hard. But I think for him, it's just making the proper decisions and, moving this offense. And he's hungry. He wants to continue to make that happen. And the great news is he's got a lot of great players around him in order to help him elevate his game.
What stands out to you on tape about Bowling Green?
Yeah, I mean, I thought they're a well-coached team. I thought they played hard. The first thing that stands out is their special teams. I mean, they start the season again with a 98-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. That's back-to-back years to start the season with that. That's incredible. They knocked down 4 field goals, including a 56-yarder. They're really good special team play on the team. And then I think defense is very aggressive. They're playing man. They're not scared to come up and press you, play man, get after the quarterback. 2 linebackers, probably the best players on the defense, in my opinion, number 3, number 4. And then offensively, they did enough. They did enough to win. They got a quarterback that started at 4 different schools. It's an incredible story that he's had. So very good football team. I think they're coached well. They always believe they're in a game they're going to win. You go back to last year, they lost to Penn State by a touchdown, 6 points, Texas A&M. They're not scared to play anybody. They will not be intimidated coming into Nippert.
Coach, thanks so much. Best of luck.
All right, thanks.
It takes a whole team to make sure the Bearcats are ready for action, including a brand new Director of Sports Science. We hear from Jason Stone coming.
This segment is sponsored by Furniture Fair.
In this edition of Bearcats All Access, we introduce you to Jason Stone, the first ever Bearcats Director of Sports Science. Jason breaks down what his role means to UC student athletes, how it helps performance and recovery, and why personally returning to the University of Cincinnati has such personal significance to him. It's a behind-the-scenes look of the science driving the Bearcats.
My name is Jason Stone. I am our new Director of Sports Science. Originally from Brookville, Ohio, which is northwest Dayton. Grew up about an hour north of here. Went to undergrad pretty close to here and then kind of started to bounce around after that. Back in March, I was hired as the first ever sports scientist or director of the sports science department. Prior to that, there was not a formal department. There was not a formal position for any sort of sports scientist. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I think being able to formalize that position was something that the university had seen as an opportunity to get better. And ultimately, I think that's what attracted me to the position and the opportunity to be the first one ever for the Bearcats. I've moved all over the country in the last 7, 8, 9 years. The opportunity to move home. I am from Southwest Ohio. I grew up an hour north of here. From a very small town that's very tight-knit. Very few of my friends that I grew up with, even fewer of my family, have left that area. So virtually everybody from my family and my close friends from home are all still here. So being able to come back home and get to spend a lot more time with them is an opportunity, I think, in working in sport that's very hard to come by. Inevitably, a lot of that can be, the lifestyle is just inevitably volatile. I would tell anybody and everybody all the way through childhood, middle school, high school, even into undergrad, that my dream job was to be like a team doc for the Cincinnati Reds. I had the opportunity to do that. And then prior to that, I was actually with Ohio State Athletics. Both of those, I would argue, in a lot of ways, as a child, those were my dream jobs. But while I was at Ohio State, I also had the unique opportunity to meet Coach Nico and get to work hand in hand with him on a day-to-day basis. I think him and I got to spend a lot of time diving into a lot of what we get to really devote our time to now. That was a precursor to knowing what we were getting into here. I knew what Nico was about. I knew what Coach Nico wanted to implement, and I think it was very much aligned with what I'm interested in doing and what I see sports science as being here at the university. I've known Aaron Himmler, our sports medicine director, for a very long time. Through my PhD advisor, who's also a UC alum. It was actually back during the start of my PhD in 2018 where I was coming out to Higher Ground on a regular basis for training camp pretty much every year to help with data collection and things of that nature, that at that time of I guess the landscape of sports science, that was somewhat novel for UC. So going all the way back to 2018, I was even able to make some connections with Aaron Himmler, and then we maintained contact all the way through my time at Ohio State, my time with the Reds. So ultimately, it kind of just came full circle where this new position here at Cincinnati is, I'd say on the day-to-day, it involves a lot of working hand-in-hand with Aaron and Nico to make sure that we're doing the best we can for our athletes. My day-to-day looks a lot like some periods where I'm spending a lot of hours consecutively in front of a computer screen and maybe a few other screens. I've got a lot of large screens in my office, but at the same time, there's a lot of hands-on applications that are happening right here in the weight room every day that we're on the field for practice and games. There's a lot of technology that we use to track the barbell speeds, track speed and how powerful our guys are, how much they're moving on the field. So we get a lot of data that allows us to get to the level of how are each of our individual athletes responding to what we put them through, what the training is, what our lifts are, what we're doing on the field. Because at the end of the day, I always explain it to them is, if you're an offensive lineman and all of you guys spend most of your entire days together, you go through the same position meetings, you probably eat together, you're going through the same drills at practice, but at the end of the day, you respond to all of those things in your own ways. So I think what's unique here is not necessarily the ability to individualize and leverage all that data. I think at this point in time, it's not novel to have all of this technology and data at this level of sport. But what I think we are the best at is our collaboration and our ability to integrate both vertically from our leadership, all the way from Coach Satterfield, all the way down to our players. Our ability to collaborate from a vertical alignment, we always talk about complete program alignment. So that's that's us being able to be vertically aligned, like I said, from Coach Satterfield all the way down through the players and all of our departments and support staff in between that. But then horizontally, which is where I think my collaboration with Coach Nico and Aaron Himmler comes in, and the rest of our health and performance staff, like Michaela and Katie and our nutrition and Lanisha with sports psychology, we're able to all horizontally align in how we are trying to vertically put forth what we want to do.
He's one of the most electrifying running backs in the country. Evan Pryor sits down with me on Bearcats All Access, coming up.
Bearcats All Access, sponsored by Ultifiber.
Bearcats running back Evan Pryor is one of the most electrifying backs in college football. Pryor joins the show so we can learn a little bit more about one of the most fun players to watch on the Bearcats. Second season with the Bearcats. What's different this year for you?
My approach to it, how I look at the game now, having some experience under my belt, has helped me a lot, this season. The game just really started to slow down for me. So I think that'll help excel my game. Whether I'm looking at fronts, linebacker tendencies, even things that we do, how we might block things and things like that, just having a more deeper understanding of it so I can be better in it.
You're such an explosive player. How much does the cerebral part of you understanding defenses, how do you marry the two of being such an explosive, athletic guy, but also the mental part of football?
Yeah, the mental part actually makes it, so much easier for me to be explosive as I am. Just like how we were just talking about, getting deeper into the game, schemes and things like that, I could be a step ahead, in terms of what will happen next, whether that be run game, pass game, things like that. So I'm already thinking ahead and how I can make the next play.
You told me off camera that when you graduate, you want to be a coach, you want to be a high school football coach. Why?
I love the sport, that I play. I've always wanted to be around football, and I want to, after I play as well. I wanted to be around the sport, for as long as I can, whether that's playing, or coaching. Another thing that I'm interested in as well is, sporting analysis. I've always wanted to commentate and be like on different shows or podcasts, stuff like that. And then the other thing is just, being able to have, quality family time as well. Another dream of mine is just to have a family and things like that, be a part of my children's lives and stuff like that. So just somewhere where, I can still be in touch with the game and still, have 2 feet in with my family as well.
What did you learn personally from the Nebraska game?
Keep fighting, man. We had a lot of ups and downs in that game, against a good opponent as well. And we were there, even when we were down 13-3. We didn't get discouraged like we would have done last year. I feel like that's where our team grew a lot. The maturity, not even of the guys, but our mindset as well. We just knew the game wasn't over. We knew that we had plenty of fight left in us, and that kind of showed up towards the end of the game. Obviously, we couldn't pull it out, but, we were right there, and, we obviously don't want to lose, but, there were good things we could take away from the game that we did on the field on Thursday. So we just got to keep on going and build off of that.
From this point, and you go through the entire season and you look back at it, you'll say this was a successful season if what happened?
A Big 12 championship. We're not going to sell ourselves short. That's a goal we've been preaching since the clock hit 0-0 and we played TCU last season. Get to Dallas, get to Dallas, get to Dallas, and that's all at the front of our mind, and we're still early in the season, so we still have that at the front of our mind. We're going to clean up some areas and where we need to improve and keep pushing for that.
Next up on Bearcats All Access, head women's volleyball coach Daniela Tomic joins the program to talk about the upcoming season. She breaks down the key returners and the newcomers who could be making an impact for the Bearcats volleyball team this season.
When we start a journey with any team at the beginning, I know how different all of us are going to be once the journey is over. What excites me the most is really enjoying the journey. The theme for our team this season is win the day, but it's just truly enjoying the process. I think experiences are made of those moments. It's not what happens at the end. We are all chasing, if you're in athletics, chasing a championship. But if that's the only thing on site, you're missing so many special moments. Our culture is built on core values and the ethos around those core values. Love, unity, excellence, discipline, courage, resilience. If we embody all of those values, and we know we have a specific definition and ethos around all of those values, but if we truly focus on embodying those and embodying those values as a team, I know we're going to be successful. The score will take care of itself. I want us to look back on this journey whenever this season is over. Hopefully it's going to be in December. I want us to be proud to look around the locker room wherever we are and to say, what a journey. Have no regrets, knowing that we have done everything in our ability to serve the team, be a part of a special story that we are writing, to truly be proud of who we have become individually, but more importantly, who we have become as the program, as a team together. We're going to focus on what's in our control. We're going to focus on showing in action some of our values. Right now, early, I want to see if we are truly embodying our values and us as a team. Are those things transferring in the match situations? I'm just excited about being challenged every time we step on the court, that we will know that we have a great opponent that will make us be the best that we can be. We know it's going to be hard, but to me, I love challenge. I think champions, you want to play against the best. You want to put yourself in a position to beat some of the best teams in the nation, and we will have, every week, we will have an opportunity to do that. I believe that iron sharpens iron. I believe that rising tide lifts all boats, meaning when you are competing against a great opponent, it just makes you, if you're a true competitor, it makes you play your best. I'm going to invite all of our Bearcat fans, those who have been following our program for years and those who are maybe interested to see how this new chapter of Cincinnati volleyball is going to go. I just think if you come, you're going to love it. And we need our Bearcat fans to help us create the best environment, one of the best environments in the Big 12 here in the Fifth Third Arena. Get some bragging rights to say, hey, we were with Cincinnati when they were building a championship program, and be with us when that happens. I truly believe that we will build a championship program here, and we want our fans to be there when we hold that Big 12 trophy and when we go to the NCAA tournament, and have them wherever we go. Hopefully we host some of the NCAA matches here in the Fifth Third. But just come on this journey with us. I know you're going to love it.
She's a star on the track, but obstacles along the way have made her who she is. Kaya Epps shares her story coming up. Cincinnati Bearcats track and field senior Kaya Epps has been a standout on the track, but her journey goes far beyond the field of competition. Kaya was diagnosed with diabetes in 8th grade. She's overcome challenges to earn multiple all Big 12 honors in different events. Kaya shared her story in Baltimore this past summer at Dexcom for others dealing with the same thing.
All right, so good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Let's start from the top. How did NIL get started for you, and especially Dexcom?
So NIL started when I went on my tour here, coming into my junior year, and then I was able to talk to Eddie. So I sat down with him, kind of told him my goals, how I really wanted to work with like Dexcom, and because I'm very passionate about diabetes, and that's just something who I am and something that I live with. And so with the Dexcom program, it took about a year to get started. When I got that email saying like I can interview, that was like the best feeling ever. I was diagnosed in the 8th grade. about to go into my freshman year of high school, and I had no idea what diabetes was. I didn't know what to do. I didn't even know what insulin was. I was really nervous. I didn't think I'd be able to compete anymore, worrying about my glucose and how would it affect my running. I kind of just put my best foot forward and continued to do my sport, and it turned out really well. I'm able to manage myself and compete at my best of ability. Went to the U camp over this summer, went to Baltimore, so just experienced kids with diabetes, just kind of being a role model for everybody. I think that was a very amazing experience, just going in there, being a role model, being a mentor, and just seeing all these kids, because when I was that age, I didn't have anybody to look up to. I didn't even know what diabetes was at first, so just going in there, just being able to engage with these kids just in the way I wanted to be engaged with or see somebody who had diabetes, and just seeing that role model was just an amazing experience. I noticed I was very thirsty at first and just very fatigued. I lost a lot of weight. So I talked to my mom and I was like, I think I need to see a doctor. So I went in for just initial visit and everything. And they're like, let's check your glucose. It was over the charts and I was like, oh, okay, let's go to the hospital. And they told me I was diagnosed with diabetes and I was like, I don't know what that is, but we'll manage it. My mom has been one of my big helps. She has my glucose on her phone and everything. So glucose affects my everyday. If my glucose is high, I have a headache, I'm a little irritable. Sometimes my body just goes numb. And when my glucose is low, I get shaky, I get a little irritable again, very weak, so I'm not able to perform at my best. Well, this summer I've definitely been taking my break. It's a very long season, but still training, still lifting and everything. It's my senior year going in for my indoor season, so just perform at my best and make it to nationals. My favorite thing at this being a UC athlete has to be the resources. Being able to go in, get my study hall hours, make sure I'm focused on school, and then also having a life goal after.
And what are those plans after?
I hope after college to go into AT program. So my goal was PT. I wanted to be a physical therapist really badly, but I kind of looked deeper into it and what my calling was, and I think AT is my calling. I want to be able to be hands-on with athletes and kind of travel with them and just make those connections. And fingers crossed I get to go pro in my sport.
That's about all the time we have this week on Bearcats All Access. Make sure to tune in every week at 11:30 a.m. on WCPO 9. The Bearcats, later this afternoon, they're taking on Bowling Green at Nippert Stadium. If you haven't left yet, it's about that time. Thanks for joining us on Bearcats All Access.